On that note, today we're going to talk about why I don't believe anyone who wants to burn off the belly fat should try to do a marathon. And the reason being is that people think that that is good for you, and unfortunately it's not. And I'm going to tell it to you right up front. When you try to do a marathon, you're putting your body through a lot of stress. Stress causes the stress hormone to show up. Now, you don't need to know what stress hormone that is, but if you're interested, it's cortisol. When cortisol shows up, your fat gets locked into place. So all those people that have gone into a marathon that I see, and I saw this happen when I was visiting my brother in Hawaii. He was driving me and his wife to this restaurant across the island that everybody loves to go to for breakfast. And as we were driving, I saw a bunch of people in a marathon, and we didn't know that this marathon was this big deal, but there they were, and there were so many overweight and obese people doing this marathon, and my heart broke because I knew when I saw them on this marathon, they were either going to go 25 miles or up to 50. I knew that those bodies could not undertake that kind of stress because, first of all, when you're overweight, you're already carrying extra weight on you. Then you put yourself through a marathon on pavement in the heat. You are just redlining your body like this. Your engine is just overflowing. And when that happens, your body goes into fight or flight mode. That's why your body will not burn off the fat. So stress hormone shows up. The person thinks that, oh, I'm going to start losing weight because I'm going to train for this marathon. And then when I do the marathon, here's the fact. Caesar's going to talk about his history when he did his training for Ironman and what the difference is with how he trained for Ironman and what he did for Ironman and what it did for his body. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right, guys. So yes, for those who some people don't know what an Ironman is. I am an Ironman. It's a very challenging 1 year training, hitting it hard. So the Ironman is completing 3 consecutive disciplines. The first discipline is to swim, and this is for Escape from Alcatraz. It's the one I did, one of the hardest ones. It's a 1.5 mile cold, freezing cold water swim, and that was even tough for me because I'm not a swimmer. But and then the second part of the Ironman is an 18-mile bike ride immediately because it is timed. And then, of course, the third leg of this is going to be an 8-mile run. So I've done several bike rides because I was also a part of the Velo Club of Imperial County. So I did a lot of riding, cycling. But it's true what you say about people being overweight and they want to do the marathons, and people do them. But the impact that the damage is doing to your knees, to your ankles, is hard because I know people now, all they do is wear braces. Fortunately for me, I'm a healthy guy, and I never had to wear braces or anything like that. But it is a high impact, very competitive to be able to get that title of an Ironman.
But now, can you explain to them what your body looks like now and what you're experiencing now that you know how to do what I teach my clients in how to tap into the gears of your own body so that you don't have to diet or exercise to lose belly fat?
Yeah, no, at that time I didn't even look this good when I did the Ironman, which is the biggest part. And I wasn't even as healthy as I was, even though I was running 6-minute miles and every day, 5 days a week. I didn't look this good or feel this good. I never even had a six-pack in my life until now, and I showed you a picture.
And so this is solidifying for you guys what I was saying. When you train for something like the Ironman, you're not going to end up with six-pack abs. You're not going to end up getting rid of that fat because you're causing the stress hormone to show up. So I'm giving you guys the keys to the kingdom here, saying, look, don't stress yourself out or you're going to hang on to fat. And that's what Caesar experienced because now he's not doing any of that and he's seeing the fat melt off.
Right. And I even at that time of the Ironman, I wasn't going to the gym, even though a lot of people were going to the gym. But now I definitely don't go to the gym. I definitely don't run, 6 minute miles, or I'm not even cycling these days. It's been a while. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel the best. I'm in the best shape of my life.
But now go over what you've noticed about your hair recently. What's
Really?
been
Okay. So I look and feel better. My hair is actually reversing the color, and I don't use dyes, and I never have. Maybe one time a long time ago, but my hair is going back to black.
And you were sending me pictures of the back here, right? That
Oh
it's
yeah,
going more black.
going black.
Yes. Uh,
And I was going fully gray. So I don't know what's going on, what's happening. I mean, I even told you, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This is like weird to me. I'm not taking any supplements. I'm not doing any hair dyes. I'm not doing any special shampoos. It's doing it on its own. I don't even use hair conditioner.
and
Right
then
now my hair looks
remember,
great because I cut it.
remember
Right.
also when you sent me that picture of how much you had to shave your chin, which you weren't used to? Tell them about that.
I used to never. I don't have facial hair. I have like the Aztec Indian, right? So it would take me for me to shave my stubble probably every 3 weeks. That's how little my hair grew. Now my facial hair is growing at a rate that I had to shave twice this week.
Okay,
So
so
I mean,
here's
I
what
don't
I
know.
want to share with you guys. The reason Caesar has had more hair turning black over here and more hair on his face is because his body is not in that fight or flight mode anymore. His body is relaxed. His body has less inflammation because I've taught him what I teach my clients, and that is how to eat, when to eat, and what to eat, and also how to rest. And actually, I'll give them the format. I call it the hero format. Mute your, there you go. Let me give you the hero format so that you know what Caesar has learned from me, which I teach my clients. Number one, H stands for hydration, as Caesar's taking a sip right there. How the good timing on that. Number two, well, the second letter, E. E is for elimination, eliminating toxins. And then you have R, which is for recovery. And then you have O, which is optimization. And the optimization part is what the medical industry gets wrong. And it's also what the fitness and diet industry gets wrong because they don't know how to optimize the body by tapping into the body. They want you to buy gimmicks and gadgets and prep food and count calories, count macros, and do all that wasted energy and information. And this is one of the reasons why Caesar now has a body that's functioning the way it should. So his body is able to produce more hair. Now, let me go back to those of you who have had health problems. You probably noticed that during times of stress, you lose hair. Well, why is that? Because the body's not stupid. The body, if it's undergoing something that's not right for it, meaning it doesn't have enough oxygen to transfer to the organs that matter, the last thing it's going to do is to help you to grow hair. And it's also going to not help you to have the darkness color of your hair because it's not going to produce the pigment. So now Caesar's seeing the reversal of those problems because he's fixed his body and now he's in tune. But I'm going to take it one step further. For those of you who do a marathon, or wait, actually, let me ask Caesar. Unmute yourself and tell me, after you were done with your Ironman, what did you do the few hours after that? The next 2 to 4 hours after the Ironman?
Eat and jump in jacuzzis.
Okay, wait, you can stop. He said eat, right?
Eat a
Okay,
lot.
a lot. And as a matter of fact, this is what a lot of people do. Go ahead and mute again. Okay, so Caesar did what everybody does after a marathon. They eat, or after the Ironman, they eat. And then he said he ate a lot. Okay, here's the problem with that. When you put your body under stress and the hormone cortisol shows up in your body, it's going to flow through your body for 2 to 4 hours. So that means everything Caesar ate within 2 to 4 hours of that marathon or that Ironman competition all went to guess where? Fat. Because what did I tell you at the beginning of this? When you stress your body out, your body is going to store everything that comes in as fat. So think of it this way. This is an easy way to think. Let's say you're working for somebody and you're working at an office, and the office rule is no food at your desk. If you want to eat, you have to go to the break room. So let's say you go to your office one day and your boss is not there, and you decide you're going to eat at your desk. Then you hear the door open and you hear your boss walk through the door. What are you going to do? You're going to hide your food, right? You're going to put it in the desk. You're going to store it away because you got to get rid of it because you're not supposed to be eating at your desk. That's exactly how your body behaves after a marathon. And I can tell you right now, your body's going to store anything after a hard workout into your fat cells. So how many guys go to the gym, lift hard, and think, now I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat a lot? Well, that lifting hard made the cortisol hormone show up, and now you're going to pack it on as fat. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Janina, what about these guys that go to the gym and then they look great? Well, here's where they're packing on fat. They're packing it around their liver. You can't see that fat around their liver. You can't pinch it. It is thin and it is wrapped around the liver. It's wrapped around other organs. It can be wrapped around the heart. It can be wrapped around the kidneys. This is why you get a guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger who can be 57 years of age and have a heart attack. This is why the guy from The Biggest Loser, I don't know what his name is, but he wrote 7 books on fitness and health, and he was on The Biggest Loser. Handsome guy, by the way. He's all tatted up too, muscular. He had a heart attack in his 50s at the gym, even though he had what I would call the 6-pack or 8-pack abs. He had to be brought to life, and thankfully there was a doctor who was there at the gym that basically saved that man's life. Now, that's why I'm telling you, when you pack on fat, it's not just the squishy stuff that we can touch and the belly fat that we can jiggle. It's the dangerous visceral fat, and that's why I work with men over the age of 50, because I get rid of that dangerous fat. That's the fat that causes health problems. That's the fat that causes everything that you don't want to have happen. Now, there's some other things that Caesar might want to talk about, but they're very personal when it comes to what other things he's noticed down below the belt. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that on YouTube, though. But
no, that's okay. We can skip that part. But no, there's a big difference in my body and my fitness.
In your performance, let's put it that way. You can tell your body is behaving differently because you're treating it differently. And do you feel like you're doing anything that's restrictive when it comes to eating? Because this is what most people think.
No, there's nothing that I do. I eat protein, fiber, and fat. I eat my 2 meals a day at least now, which is helping me out a lot. And I don't eat past 6 o'clock, preferably 5 o'clock or so. And then I get to bed as early as I can, which is typically at 9 o'clock at the latest.
Okay, so he's done a few tips for you right there. Now, if you can't go by that schedule, because I do have a lot of guys that are on a night shift. I work with guys on night shift because I work differently with them. And this is where the one-on-one interaction comes into play, because what works for one man isn't going to work for the other man. So it's about getting things taken care of while in your lifestyle at where you are at right now.
Right. And also, I want to just mention this one. This is a harsh one because I've been traveling. In fact, right now I'm in Mexico. I'm traveling. But I just came down from Northern California here. On the way down here, I wasn't able to stop somewhere that I would have been able to eat healthier. So I stopped. I'm going to confess. I did the Jack in the Box. I did 2 tacos and a burger. I kid you not. I got food poisoning because I ate I couldn't eat the whole burger. So I left it for later. But later on, when I say, it's going to be fine, right? It's just a burger. I ate it, but because all these fast food restaurants, whatever's all junk inside of them, I actually got food poisoning by not keeping it in the refrigerator and just waiting to eat it again later. And I just felt disgusted. And It's taking
Well,
me
and
to
that's a beautiful thing in a way to get to a point where you realize just how bad some food is at fast food. Because fast food is meant to be convenient. Fast food's meant to be cheap, but it's the convenience and the cheapness that is hurting us. Now, some of you out there will say, well, gee, I eat all the time there. Why does it not bother me? Well, here's why. Your body's not stupid. It's not going to keep raising the red flag and telling you, hey, there's something wrong if you don't listen to it. After a while, the body just says, okay, he's going to continue to eat this stuff. So we'll just keep taking it in, and it'll keep making things toxic in his body, and it'll start having effects on organs. And that's when you hit 50, over the age of 50, it starts to be more detrimental than when you were in your 30s and your 40s. And again, this is why the average age of my client is 72, because by the time they're 72, they had some of those organs removed, whether it was their appendix, their gallbladder, or maybe even a chunk of their kidney. It's all very common. And by the way, the reason I bring all this up is because you guys have agency over it, and you don't need to have willpower. You don't need to go to the gym and bust your butt. You don't need to be counting calories and macros and prepping food and doing all that stuff. You can do this while you eat out. Now, why Caesar didn't just decide, hey, I'm going to make an effort to go to a real restaurant, he would have done better. Caesar, do you agree that if you would have, instead of just taken the quick drive-through?
I would have, but unfortunately I was on the timeline to get down because my father's going to have heart surgery. And so I needed to get down to Mexico as soon as possible. So I just did a quick stop and hit the run.
And by the way, this is going to lead into our conversation for next week. I want to go over your father's heart surgery because we have a lot of guys listening that have had the valve problem. It's a very common problem when they have to have valve surgery. Some people call it mitral valve prolapse. Some people call it mitral valve regurgitation. So we can do something on that for next week, okay? So we'll just wrap it up now and say goodbye. And next week we will talk about the valve surgery that your dad is going to be doing. Is that okay for you? Oh, you're muted.
Absolutely, yes, that sounds great. My dad's always been a healthy guy, but unfortunately, as a Hispanic, they like to eat, and they eat anything and everything.
Well, and by the way, I have a note on that. I have someone that I'm talking to for my book that I'm writing on exactly that. He's the picture of health. He's a marathon runner. He runs marathons multiple times a year and competes with another friend of his, and he's having the same surgery your father's about to have. So it's not about just eat. It's a two-sided, it's a multifactorial thing, which is why that's a conversation for another day. And we'll just sign off. And
I agree.
Thanks for taking the time out to join us for today. And we'll see you guys next week.
And one last thing. Happy Father's Day, because it is tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day to me.
Yes, there you go. Take care, guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.